Hello and welcome. You're watching Greenwich Live Sessions. This is your host Omar Khan, and I'm back with another show, another guest, and a very special and inspirational guest for today. But before I introduce my guest, I would like to wish a very happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers out there. Thank you for everything you have been doing and making this world a better place. And now I would like to introduce my very special guest for today, and she is the president or vice president of Muslim Ladies Council Mauritius. She's also the director of multiple companies that includes JSK. In fact, she has won a lot of awards and laurels to her name for the wonderful work she has been doing over the years in the business field and in the social welfare field as well. The very inspirational and true woman, I would like to say. Let me welcome Mrs. Shireen Motala. How are you, ma'am?
Hello, Adab, Assalamualaikum, good evening.
Can you hear
I'm
me, ma'am?
doing really great and hope you two are enjoying a very sound health, Mr. Umar. It's really nice to be interviewed by someone very
The pleasure is
professional
all
like
mine.
you.
It's a complete pleasure for all of us of course, being hosting you here, and thank you so much for taking out time. I would like to introduce my second guest for today. She is the head school of linguistics and assistant professor at Greenwich University, also a soft skill trainer and a true motivational personality, Mrs. Shazia Nasser. Welcome to the show, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you, Umar, once again for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to be around people who are so inspirational, and I was really looking forward to meeting Ma'am Shiri and having and learning so much. Today we are going to learn so much. I can say that.
Really nice and a
Absolutely.
real pleasure to see you too, Mrs. Shazia.
Same here.
Absolutely. We're in store to learn a lot. And I was just reading about you, ma'am Shiri, and I was so inspired when I got to know that apart from all the brilliant work you have been doing, you can also speak 5 languages. So that was
Yes,
one thing that surprised me as well.
Thoda
So,
Thoda
ma'am, we
Urdu, I can speak Thoda Urdu too.
Thoda thoda.
absolutely. Thoda thoda, yes.
And Urdu, I like Urdu too. It's a very melodious language. Language of Allama Iqbal. Especially when you speak about poetry, we can't forget about Allama Iqbal.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and his words were actually the true inqalab that we say in Urdu, of course. So, ma'am,
Exactly.
we all know we're stuck in this situation of COVID-19. The life has been affected, the work has been affected, the businesses have been affected. You have such diversified businesses. How do you look at this situation overall?
But I can tell you that definitely it's the COVID pandemic has really caused us a great problem, especially in Mauritius, which is a very small country. It's quite difficult at first to adapt ourselves for the confinement period, but especially with concerning business. As I'm a self-employed person, it's been really hard, and all those self-employed people could tell you that it's been a real problem to them. But yet, nevertheless, every problem has a solution. So what we've been doing is that trying to adapt ourselves with those situations. And I must say that thanks to the government is helping us by giving us some compensation, for example, to concerning the salaries of our employers. They are compensating us in order to be able to give them their salaries, although that we are not able to work. And on the other hand, for example, I've got a coffee shop normally I'm involved in food business. That now that we have to adapt ourselves, we can do only, for example, delivery, takeaways, and all that. Yet I can say that somehow I can save my business, although it will not be as before. But yet I need to adapt myself. And on the other hand, we need to respect all the hygienic, all those hygienic precautions which involve concerning the COVID lockdown confinement period. And although if we come after the lockdown, yet we've got some hygienic precautions that should be taken. Although that business might be affected, but yet we businesswomen, businessmen, we have got the opportunity to get to find a sort of solution to adapt ourselves in order not to make our business become a chaos. Like I can tell you, we should respect the social distancing. Although that there are so many people who can come and eat at my place, but yet they won't be able to come and see and have a chat with their friends, but yet they come and they take their food, or I can do the delivery also. So in other words, that even though there's a problem, I did find a solution, and I would advise others also who have food outlets and all that, try to adapt themselves like this. This will be my advice for them. And if others too have some other advice, they can tell us how we can adapt too.
Very well said. Adaptation is the main thing that we should look forward to, and of course,
And
right
also
now,
respect all those hygienic precautions. I
Yes.
mean, social distancing, wearing the mask, wearing the cap, wearing the gloves, and especially if you don't have any gloves, to put the hand sanitizer. That's the main thing that you've got to do, especially when you are in food business.
absolutely right, and we should definitely follow all these hygienic precautions. Ma'am Shazia, how has COVID-19 affected you? We all know you're a workaholic, you love to work, you're always charged up, but now you're forced to stay at home. So, how has the COVID-19 been treating you?
So far, so good. But first of all, let me just, uh, I can say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, including Ma'am Shireen. It's
Happy
today's
Mother's Day
Mother's
to you
Day,
too.
yeah. And congratulations to everybody for being super moms and being a super mom myself, as Ma'am is also a super mom. And the super moms have to do a lot of things together. They have to keep work life balance in a very good way. So, COVID 19 has given us the opportunity to be at home and more with the loved ones. As before the show started, we were talking with Ma'am Training that, now we are spending more quality time with our loved ones. But at the same time, we are also working. We have been giving online classes, and it's not like that. Yes, I do miss my university. I do miss my and the work environment. I do miss my friends, but that's how it's going to be. And yes, COVID-19 is going to be affecting all of us. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the normal which we have been used to it. So we need to adapt, and I think human beings are the only beings who are very, they are adaptable. They can adapt to every situation that comes. We could not even think before COVID-19 that we can be at home, not going outside, not having any social parties or interactions, or not even going to your very close relatives. But once you have to do it, then you have to do it. So as you said,
Absolutely.
ma'am, that we need to keep the protocols even after the lockdown is over. We need to keep all those protocols.
Absolutely, because what I believe that post COVID 19, life in itself will change completely. The dynamics of work, the businesses, how we treat each other, how we meet and greet each other, everything is going to change. And of course, we'll be discussing about the adaptation that Ma'am Shireen and Ma'am Shazia just mentioned. That we've seen in the past few months how businesses have changed their strategies, how things and the operations have been changing. So we will be coming to that point as well. And we all have lots of viewers with us. And I would like to mention a few comments right now. We have with us our dear Chancellor, Ma'am Seema Mughal, is with us. She wishes us happy Mother's Day. And she also
Mm,
says, Shireen, lovely to see you speaking. We people are lucky to be in this
thank you,
era
ma'am.
where distance doesn't matter and we are connected with social distancing.
Yes.
Definitely, definitely. We are family. And as I can say that even we live in a small world in a big world. With the help of the internet connection, with stream, with food, with Facebook, we are all connected. We can say that still, even though we've got long distances, but yet we are here, we are together. Distances, we don't know about
Yes.
distances now. It's just a myth. Because everybody and everywhere in the world we can meet now. So I must say that
Yes.
thank you to the technology.
Right. The next
So we
comment
can say
is
it's more of a physical distance than because social distancing, we are socializing right now even.
Yes,
It's more of a
definitely.
physical distance than a social distance.
it's
Definitely.
when the
We
distance, the
are
hearts
respecting
are aligned,
social distancing.
and the hearts are aligned as well. That's why we're all Greenwich family. So the next comment is from Ma'am Taira Khan, and she says, "Hello, moms, nice to hear and see
Hello,
you all
mom.
working with everyone." So we've got since it's Mother's Day, it's your day. So we've got all the moms commenting. Nadia Kalim, of course, Ma'am Shazi has a very special bond with Ma'am Nadia. She
Yes.
says it's like COVID has given a chance to explore ourselves and do things we wanted to, like regarding and like reading a lot of books. So, though I miss my interaction with my students and friends. So, Ma'am Shazia, being a literature a person, so much into reading and all, finally you can read lots of more things that was on your hit list before.
Umar, we couldn't hear you properly.
Okay, I'm saying being a literature person, you now you have got lots of time to read the books that you always wanted to and did not have time before.
Yes, yes, truly. We have been reading, and I'm, Nadia, since she is my neighbor too in the university, so we have been discussing. We are doing a lot of reading and writing as well, since you know that I'm doing my PhD as well, so I have some time to write my research. So that's also blessing in disguise.
Absolutely. So now, moving to Ma'am Shireen, we were discussing the adaptation. How do you think that the business? There are many businesses that have already have been adapted because of this COVID, and they've shifted to online. But when we talk about globally, already we have got a big example of Amazon. But the developing countries like Pakistan, India, and others, they are reluctant to move to online. They have few obstacles in shifting their complete businesses to online. So, under your experiences of diversified businesses, how do you think we can avoid and overcome this obstacle?
But let me tell you that absolutely, because now we are in a world. We are living in a world which promotes technologies. Technologies, I can tell you, if you use it properly, if you use it to its best, it will be really advantageous, and especially to overcome the COVID problem. As for example, if you got some people selling tridas, selling things, even food. For example, we can use online selling. When you do online selling, I can say that it can be very. It's not only easy. We can touch so many people. so many people, even better than, for example, if we have our outlets, because we are open to the world. We are open to so many people, to millions, to thousands of people. So it will be very much easier for us to go online. But also, you can, if, for example, you've got other difficulties. You can use where you used to sell your products, use it, but respect the social distancing. But as we live in the modern era, for example, using the technologies for the online system to sell our products, I would very much like to go for it because it can be also not so many investment, but yet to get so many clients. It can be a source of blessing in disguise if you want to use it. I can say that also every system has its advantages and disadvantages, but yet if you can adapt it to your business, it will be a very good source of revenue for you as well. Because me too, as for example, I'm in the food sector, I definitely would go to that area of using technology to promote my business, to promote my business, but also to get so many people buying my food and my things. As will be as it will be very practical, and also all the hygienic protocols would be observed. And if you want, for example, concerning delivery, you use your map, you use your bus, you have your working permit, you can go on for the delivery after. Or if the person comes to you, you just put it, for example, outside, you eating, and then the people can come and have it. So everybody will be happy at the same time, the customer and also the purchaser and also the buyers as well. Especially concerning business, I would very much like, although there are, I can say that there are some drawbacks concerning that, I would very much like to advise people to go online so that they can respect the protocols and also that I'm sure their business will not be going to an end, although they can get more profit concerning that.
Absolutely right. I would like to ask Ma'am Shazia right now that whatever Ma'am Shireen said was so enlightening. But as a personal user, Ma'am Shazia, how have you taken this time and switch to online shopping? Like Eid is near, so would you prefer buying your Eid dress over an online store, or would you like to personally look at the texture and the design of the cloth? So, what would your personal choice be?
Okay, Umar, first of all, I just want to tell over here that it's not only the developing countries which are, going online and having problem. In US, even if you just take out the statistics, many big malls have been shut down because people are going towards online shopping more. And you can see in Pakistan as well, even, a teenager, he just goes online and buys things, and then the parents get to know, okay, you get a parcel from there, and everybody knows how to, even the kids know how to go and buy things online. So I think, if it's just the mindset. If we keep our mind towards that, so it's not that the business is going to go down. And in Pakistan, many women, they don't go out, and they just buy online things, be it makeup, be it house accessories, be it furniture. So it's not only that only the clothing sector is online. It's each and everything, starting from needle till the furniture. Everything is online, and I think it's only the mindset, and slowly and gradually we are going towards that, and the whole world is going towards that, in fact.
Absolutely. When I
Definitely.
mentioned developing countries, what I meant to say was, as you quoted, we need to spread the awareness, we need to change the mindsets. But looking at the population of Pakistan, there's a huge amount and numbers of people people living in rural areas. They do
Yes.
not have the access and the awareness to switch to online. The
Yes.
old traditional way of shopping for them is going to the market and interacting with people. So we
Yes.
need to create that platform for these people, create that
That
awareness,
awareness.
and give
Awareness.
them that set of education where they can easily adapt to it. Previously, even in our sessions, I was discussing that in Pakistan, especially in rural areas, we have those platforms of Easy Pesa, Jazz Cash, and the whole platform is there. Why not use it to make easy access for the rural people areas, for people who has less awareness? When we mention adaptation, so we should also look at the people who are under that barrel of awareness. We have to carry everyone together. What would you like to say on that, Machiri?
Yes, definitely. I agree with you. Like we say, awareness. Awareness is a big word. That's the main thing. As you just said, concerning people living in rural areas, we should make them aware about us. Go online to buy your products, especially concerning this COVID. Concerning the COVID family, whom people will go less, for example, in order not to get those viruses. So I do think that publicities, advertisements could be made in order to make people aware. I'm sure that now people are very much well educated because everybody now uses technology, whether you are living in rural or urban areas. Technologies are available everywhere. You just have, as Mrs. Tasha said, you just have to change the mindset. Not because as you see in rural areas, they are much more traditional than people living in urban areas. So we should change that mentality, change that mindset. So by making lots of publicity, I'm sure that people now, even though they are living in rural areas, they have access to the internet. So by using Facebook or Instagram or Zoom or other systems, they will become more aware about what is provided. So we can say also that doing your shopping online is very much more practical. You can see the people selling their materials, their things. They can you definitely have come to know about them. You just have to make sure you have a display about all the products, all the sizes, for example, available, and concerning the food, which food is available, the quantities, how you will get it, and all that. And as for example, in Mauritius, although we are very small compared to Pakistan, which is a very big country, and here, for example, people in rural areas, if you don't have access to the internet, for example, you can go to some social welfare area, the CAB, the Citizen Advice Bureau. There you have some computers available, and you can go online and just by a click go on Facebook, go on Instagram, go on Twitter, and all that, and see which is available. And by it you can click, you can order whatever you like. As you know, here now we are in Ramadan period, and we'll be having Eid al-Fitr, and during lockdown period, everywhere all shops are closed. So the best thing is to go online. So if you want to wear a very nice churidar, for example, for Eid, you just have to go online, do your purchase online. It's safe and it's very practical, and you've got great varieties also which are available. You just choose, and by a click you can buy, and you don't put your health and as well as your friends and families at stake. So stay safe, use online.
Absolutely. Ma'am Shazi, I would like to move forward this point. And as educationists, as people who spread awareness, do you think that we have an important role to play? Because once we're talking about the online sellers, there are also the other side of the story, and that are the consumers. We have to give that education and that basic knowledge to consumers. Like Ma'am Shireen just mentioned, that people who do not have access, they walk up to the social welfare and they ask for help. So, as educational institutions, do you think we should take such a stand where we can spread far and wide to the rural areas and educate them of how they can adapt and utilize and move and switch towards online shopping?
Um, Umar, the situation in Pakistan is a bit different from Mauritius, definitely, because as you know that in our rural areas, we do have, like, each and every one now has a cell phone. But as far as online shopping is concerned, I think it's going to take some time if you go strictly to the interior of our Sindh province or in Balochistan or in Punjab. But as educationists, yes, in our own capacity, each one of us, we have this responsibility on our shoulders, especially times like this, because this is an emergency situation where each one of us, we have to play our role on individual basis. And that's, for example, each one of us, we are like we have servants at home, so we can educate them, we can give them education, and then they can further educate their people sitting in their homes. So that's how the chain is going to be made. So we need to develop this chain, we need to hold hands together, and on our own, on our individual level, we need to work and educate the people, and as a collective, like forums like these, which Greenwich is I must commend Greenwich University for doing such wonderful shows, because this is the way we are going to educate, we are going to communicate to people how they are going to be online. But for, if you go very interior to our provinces, yes, online shopping is not as much. You can say that they're not going to buy the clothes online, and neither
Or
the
even
riders
the
are
basic
going to.
necessities, basic necessities like fruit, vegetables, or house groceries. I do have a
Yes,
solution for that. Ma'am Shireen is very active in the social welfare and
food.
everything. So I think we need to focus on the people who are below the poverty line, who have no resources, who have no education or awareness. So for that, what my solution is that we already have the infrastructure of, for example, as I mentioned, Easy Paisa and Jazz Cash. So what they do is, for people who don't have bank accounts, they provide money. You can just transfer it through a mobile phone. So similarly, if a person wants some food or anything to eat, they can go to such shop, they can give their order, pay the money, and that one person can order it for them and then deliver it to the doorstep. So that's the adaptation process. Talking about the social welfare part, Ma'am Shireen, you, of course, are very active in all of this. How would you suggest that we can educate people who are below the poverty line and help them to adapt to this change? Because we need to adapt, otherwise, the survival would be difficult.
Definitely, a very good question, Mr. Umar. And what we do with the Muslim Ladies Council, you know what we do? We try to educate those needy people. For example, we got a place, they come here, we educate them, we show them what to do, and we help them as well. We've had so many people, so many needy people by giving them free laptops, free tablets in order for them to be able to get used to that. And we also educated them. We've got professionals giving them free courses, trying to help them, trying to make them stand on their feet, to become independent and not to be a burden over society. And this is what the Muslim Ladies Council do. We not only educated not only Muslim people, but we are open to everybody. As we here in Mauritius, we've got the opportunity, we've got the chance to live in a multiracial country, worldwide as the Rainbow Island. So, for example, I'll be taking Muslim Ladies Council, which I'm the vice president, and I'm the president. This is Mariam Dugo. We've got other executive members, other members who does lots of work. As I said before, it's a teamwork. We all work together, hand in hand, especially to help those needy people. We educate them freely. We make them aware about the new technology in order that they can stand in the field and be independent independent, and not I put emphasis on that, not to become a burden of our society. So
Rightly said.
we are already, even before the COVID period, we've already, many years back, the association is will be inshallah 15 years this year concerning its creation. And from 15 years to from 15 years back till now, this is what we've been doing. What we've been doing concerning the educating people, educating youngsters, but also people who got the opportunity to be able to go at school. And this is what we've been doing, educating them. So it's not only during the COVID period, but even before, we've been educating people and making them aware about the technology. And so
Right.
now the people that we have been helping, they they're independent now. They can buy, even they can use the online period to, for example, if they don't have money, they've got now, for example, during the Ramadan period, we found a lot concerning the contribution of our well-wishers, especially concerning the zakat. And with the zakat, we are able to help those people. So
Absolutely.
even though they are not, they haven't been educated concerning using technologies and all that, but we, our association, people working through our association, give them that education.
Absolutely right. And under your experience, what would you like to suggest all the youngsters out there, or the students, or right now currently during the are pursuing their education? What would you suggest them as a career, keeping in mind the situation and post COVID, the whole dynamics of the world is about to change. So, what would be your advice? How to choose their career, or what career should they pursue?
Very good question, Kumar. And you know what I'll be doing, for example? I can't tell someone to pursue a study which she or he doesn't like. What I would say, even if I took into consideration the COVID pandemic and all that, please educate yourself. Use the best of your knowledge. Think, for example, we are living. What I can say, I can advise. For example, we are living in the new technology era. So please go forward if you are able to do some IT courses. Please do it, as this will help you. I'm not telling you that only to turn to IT only. If you can do whatever you do, but please, even though you can become a lawyer, you can become an engineer, you can become an accountant, a doctor, or whatever, but yet do have some IT knowledge. This will be what I try, because it will be a plus for you. Because
Abs-
I can't tell people, I can't, for example, we should impose on people, impose on students, but yet I can give them some advice by telling them, please become IT literate, as this will continue to help you, even though in the work that you'll be doing afterwards. Because everything is using IT. Everybody is using IT now, even me. Even though I'm a businesswoman, I'm a low graduate, but I'm using IT.
Absolutely right. So we'll add on some comments right now. There are loads of them. So we have this Noor Zabeen, and she says very well explained, Ma'am Shireen Motala.
Thank you.
So we have this. The next one is from Manur Faruqi, and she says, and in developed countries, they will be coming up with a smart buying, like sitting in the car and shopping digitally. Things will drastically change after this pandemic is over. So the
True.
thing that we were talking about earlier, we have with us Salman Rajani from Greenwich University, and let me add his comment. And he says, this pandemic has also created many opportunities for small businesses. We have witnessed a boom in the number of online sellers on various online platforms. This is a new kind of empowerment.
Yes. Umar,
This
I'll
is
just
what
want to
we've
add
been
over here.
explaining now.
Yeah,
It's a
you
very
know,
good thing.
it's a good thing. I have seen like even many of youngsters who are sitting at home, they have started their online. Like somebody is making brownies, and someone is making different cakes and some dishes. So even the youngsters are coming up with that kind of thing. So that's something, like it said that in every problem there is an opportunity as well. So we must look at the positive side and try. We must try to seek out the opportunities. Instead of just sitting and just crying over the spilled milk, you can't do anything about it. So you need to take out the opportunities.
Absolutely, we need to make.
Definitely, I agree with you. Let me tell you, Umar, that one thing is a sort of blessing in disguise. The COVID pandemic has made people IT literate now.
Absolutely. And
True, true.
I personally think that life is giving us a second chance. We can restart all
Exactly.
again. We can learn from our mistakes, and we've seen that since that the whole world is on lockdown, the nature is improving. The ozone layer is getting fixed. The rivers are
Exactly.
getting clean. The atmosphere is getting cleaner. So I think it's humans who have to learn that they have been doing lots of things wrong, and they have
Yes.
a chance to correct everything and make this world a
Definitely.
better place.
We better
So,
start behaving.
Definitely. I
and
can
yes,
say it's a blessing in disguise. It's a blessing in disguise for the us human beings. Try to
absolutely.
become better
Yes,
human beings.
Yes,
absolutely.
yes, sure.
And as much as I'm loving this conversation, we're running out of time. I wanted this program to go on and on because of such wonderful things that I'm getting to learn over here, and even the students and all the viewers. It was a treat for them to learn so much from your experiences as well. So before we leave, Ma'am Shireen, I like you to share your message for all the youngsters, for all our students, for everyone who's watching us right now.
My end message would be, please, even the COVID pandemic has caused us so much problem everywhere in the world, but do take it positively. Do find some, because we all have solutions to our problem. Please use your time to do very good things. Use your time judiciously, and please stay safe, stay at home, because if you are during confinement period, don't go out, stay at home, stay safe, respect all the hygiene protocols, and wish you all the very best and all the best in life. And wish, as we are in Ramadan period, and Eid will be soon. If we don't meet again, I will say Eid Mubarak to all those who will be having Eid afterwards. Eid Mubarak. Use your time to do quality things. Use the time to spend it with your families, with your families also. Use it judiciously.
Absolutely,
So,
that is
all the very best to you
that
all.
is the
And
best of
thank
it.
you, Mr. Umar. Thank you, Mr. Shasya. And I would very
Thank
much
you.
like to thank Greenwich University also to having given me the opportunity to spend some quality time with you by learning all the some interesting things, sharing all our opinions, our point of views. And it's been a great pleasure to be in your company.
We are
Absolutely.
honored to have you. Yes.
It was a true honor for us as well. And before I leave, Ma'am Shazia, we all know you're really into poetry and everything. So before we leave, I would like you to share some poetry or some quote as your message.
Okay. Since she talked about Allama Iqbal in the beginning, and she's a fan of Allama Iqbal. So there's one share jo ke, which is very relevant to these kind of situations, and especially for the youngsters who are thinking that, oh, what's going to happen to our career, what's going to happen to our future, what's going to happen in the next year. So I just want to say that गिरते हैं शह सवार ही मैदानी जंग में वो तिफल क्या गिरे जो घुटनों पे पल चले. So with that, I think I'll say goodbye to all of you, and thanks a lot, Umar, once again for having me. And we are honored, Miss Chini, to have you. and we learned a lot, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Shazia and Ma'am Shireen. So let me summarize our whole conversation where we were talking about the future of businesses, the future of education, and the summarization was that it is very essential for all of us to adapt. It is very essential to move on with time. We've seen giant companies, giant businesses fall down just because they could not innovate and adapt to the changes that are happening around the world. And this is very different from all the previous technological changes. This is a serious situation of pandemic where we have to move on, keeping in mind all the safety precautions and adapt accordingly. And this was all for today. Thank you so much for watching us. You can
Thank
always
you.
give your
Yeah.
feedback in the comments. You can always ask for questions or any certain topic you want us to quote or share. We will be
Umar,
back tomorrow.
Umar, can I
Yes,
say
ma'am.
one thing? As a last, it just came to my mind that we are talking about change and everything.
Yes,
So I think change is the only constant in this world. You know,
right.
Constantly,
Agree with you, Shazia.
there's nothing is constant except change. So change is the only constant. So we need to start adapting to that.
I absolutely agree to it. Even if we take this program, for example, for the last past 30, 40 minutes, every single second we have been changing as well. So, with every second, with
Exactly.
every breath, human change. And that is the most beautiful part of it, that we have to accept the change and we have to move on in a positive spirit. Ma'am Shireen, you want to add something?
Yes, definitely. Umar, thank you. I would like to add something. As you say, we are all living in a school world, in a big world. We are all connected and we all have to work hand in hand. I would like to say, united we stand, divided we fall. And COVID pandemic will never let us live apart. In a sense, if you use it judicially, it's as if we are coming all together. Still, even we are respecting the social distancing, we are all working hand in
Yes.
hand for a better world. So united we stand, divided we fall.
Done it before.
Ma'am, I would like to add another version to this quote. I would rather add, united we stand and divided we will stand. Why should we fall? So
Well said, Mr. Umar.
thank you so much
And
once
I would
again.
like also to thank all those people who are sparing some of their precious times to be here and listening to us.
Right, thank you so much once again. And this is where we
Thank
all
you.
say
Thank
goodbye.
you all, Mrs. Shazia and you.
Thank you so
Once
much.
again, the
Goodbye.
pleasure is all ours. So, inshallah, until next time, we will be back tomorrow with another show, another guest. Until next time, Pakistan Zindabad.